Welcome, everybody. It is 6:30 here in the Midwest, 7:30 on the East. You know what that means. It is time for two goofballs to be on the screen here.
That's us. 100%.
How is everybody doing? Hope your week has started out good. Natalie, how you doing today?
I'm good. How you doing?
You know what? I cannot complain. I had the day off today. I was laying in the pool a lot. I did a little bit of work, but not a whole lot. So I had an easy, fun day today.
Well, that is so good. Did you float in the pool? And
I floated in the pool and just, listen to music, had a little music therapy, music water therapy and stuff, and got barked at by my dogs who don't like me swimming, which is weird.
They think you're drowning?
I think so. We tried to get them to jump in the pool too, but they don't. Every other dog that I see on Facebook, you see these, dog swim parties, and these two have no interest in that at all. So
I've never had a dog that wanted to swim in the pool. Really? Not one. Yeah. They just stay away from it.
Yeah, me neither. So, oh well, they had fun barking at me instead. So
that's good.
Yeah. So, who is all in chat? We have Jason Finch. Hi, Jason. Yes, I hope you can get a new job soon, Jason. That would be great. Robert, I hope you're not in heaven. That would be it would be a good thing to be there, but
maybe he thinks he's saying that he's in heaven here watching us.
You know what? He said he's eating a PJ sandwich. I'm assuming peanut butter and jelly and not a pajama sandwich, because a pajama sandwich would be kind of gross.
Peanut butter jelly.
Yeah.
Peanut
butter jelly time, peanut butter.
Jelly time.
Somebody had mentioned one time that it was my wife. She was eating a peanut butter jelly sandwich, and I was craving it so bad, and I made one, and I just didn't feel good after that.
Oh,
I was so disappointed.
That stinks.
Yeah,
that's awful.
Oh
well. Did she enjoy her sandwich?
She did, but
okay.
Yeah, I mean that's good, I guess.
Yeah.
Paul is reading chat like Memento. What does that mean?
I don't know. Are your lips moving while you're reading?
No, I can make it not move. Well, they are moving a little bit. Oh well.
Oh well. Gotta have goober jelly.
Somebody used to work with. He called everybody goobers.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a goober. Have you never seen a Memento?
Never seen Memento. Now I gotta look it up.
Oh, go watch. It's a movie, Memento, right now. Christopher Nolan movie. Okay. I have not, but okay, now that makes sense. All right. Hi, Shelly. Shelly's here. And let's see who else is here. Tom Franklin's here, the Eye of Jupiter. Hey, buddy. Watched his pre-recorded show for a little bit this evening while I was eating, and good stuff. Go subscribe to Eye of Jupiter podcast over on YouTube. Let's see. Mickey G is here. Jason Finch, I said hi to. MK Ultra, we said hi to. Gary Spikes is here, and before the whole show got started earlier this afternoon, Denise and Kitty Cattywhack were on here as well. So hopefully they come back in here a little later on. So no problem, brother, no problem. Couple things before we get going. We had a cancellation today, so this was originally gonna happen, and the really weird thing. So we had the cancellation and stuff, and I was trying to figure out what we're going to do, and I'm just floating in the pool and not really paying attention to the music I was listening to, when all of a sudden, Leonard Skinner was on Simple Man, and all of a sudden this lyric just like slapped me in the face. I forgot what it said. Follow your heart and nothing else. Whatever that line is. And I'm like, okay, you know what? We're going to do this. This is This was planned before we had the guests come on, so we're going to do.
Yeah.
So we are going to. It's going to be a potpourri of things tonight: ghosts, Bigfoot, UFOs. Who knows?
Cryptids.
And if anybody in chat has a question or wants to bring up something, feel free to put it all in caps. That way we'll see it, and we can talk about it. So, but before we get into that, if you guys are in the Springfield, Missouri area, which is the southwest corner of the state, Haunted Soulz is doing an event there this weekend, July 12th, from 7 p.m. to 3 a.m. There'll be drinks, there'll be snacks, and you can use their paranormal hunting, ghost hunting equipment, which is really cool stuff. $75 for that. That is a fantastic deal. Make sure you go to Haunted Soulz, HAUNTEDSOULZ.com for more information on that. I'll put the link in chat here in a few minutes. But that is going on. And of course, you guys know about the Crossing Realms Conference, September 19th and 20th. Make sure you get your tickets soon for that. They go on sale through Eventbrite. Just go on there and you can either search for Crossing Realms or you can search for Blondes and Booze. Either way, you'll get there. And we'll both be there. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be a blast.
It is.
Thursday night, we're going to have a pre-party that's going to be just, I almost said something I shouldn't have said. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. There's going to be singing. There's going to be karaoke. There's going to be dancing. There may be some adult beverages there. We don't know. And you know what? The best part is, I believe it's all free to come to the pre-conference party. So if you're down in the Richmond area, it's going to be at Chris. Go to Blondes and Booze. She has the address. I don't remember what it's at a ranch. I don't remember the name of it, but it's going to be a blast. So she has the address and everything for that. So
it's going to be
what else am I missing before we get going? I appreciate you guys showing up. If you could like and make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, share this out, and afterwards leave comments. I'd appreciate that. And I appreciate you guys here. That's all I ask for. And if the mood should strike you, I want to donate a super sticker or a super chat, feel free. I'm starting to do a new thing for members only. It's like campfire stories.
That's cool.
And so I got some really cool graphics and campfire, like a fire crackling going on in the background. And the best part is you don't see me at all.
So it's just a campfire and ghost stories.
Campfire with ghost stories and a creepy voice of me.
Ooh.
Yeah. So
that sounds cool.
Yeah, it's fun.
And where can you find that?
That is on YouTube channel. That you have to be a member though. So have to be a member to see that. So a little perk for the membership. So I'm going to try and do that once a week. So that's fun. So anyway, I think we got everything out. Next, this coming Saturday. Hey, little Patty. This coming Saturday, if you guys would like a reading, our favorite medium, Jilly Marie, is going to be here. So Saturday at 7 Central, make sure you get here early. I know a lot of people that I work with are really, really interested in this. So hopefully they come in here and it'll be fun. It'll be fun. She's always a blast. So yeah, make sure you check that out.
I'll be joining too.
Yep. So
I'll be there.
You'll be there. You can get your free reading.
Yeah.
She's pretty darn accurate. So anyway, let's get this show rolling.
Yeah, let's go.
Where do you want to start? Do you want to start with some of your stuff?
I wanted to talk about, because I had just attended the West Virginia Bigfoot Festival, not this past weekend, the weekend before. It was a 3-day event, and it was phenomenal. Don't get me wrong. It was really hot, but it was well worth it. They had a ton of great speakers. They had a lot of people come in and just have side conversations. And it was incredible. RPG was there, Dr. Maria Mayer, Dr. Meldrum. You had, goodness gracious, Ken Gerhardt. I mean, you had all these amazing people there, and it was really a cool vibe. And in the other building, there were mountain monsters, and they were there, and as well as Turtle Man and Swamp Man were there, two of my favorites. And so it was a ton of fun, and just a lot of from morning to night nonstop for 3 days. I was exhausted.
Yeah. I mean, talking to you through the week, you were just when you got home, it was just you were so tired.
I was dead. I mean, I drove. I left at 5 o'clock in the morning from West Virginia, dropped my friend Cheryl off in North Carolina, and drove the rest of the way home, which I didn't get home till 11 o'clock that night, and then had to be at work the next morning.
Oh my God.
So I was working on about 4 hours of sleep, but it was so worth it.
Wow.
And if anybody has the opportunity to attend a conference, not necessarily saying it's a Bigfoot conference, but any type of conference that, is in your area, I really highly recommend, because then you can network with other people. You could talk to other people that have had sightings or experiences, whether it be paranormal or cryptid. It's really a cool experience and a really cool vibe. And then you get to talk to all the folks that you see on TV. And so that's even better. So go out there, make a point, just attend one, and you'll be hooked.
Yeah, I've only been to one, and that was the Townsend one, Bigfoot Smoky Mountain Bigfoot Festival. That was an absolute blast.
Yeah.
I'm kicking myself. I wish I could make more this year, but I financially just can't do it.
Yeah.
So it's next year for sure. We're going to be at a bunch more of them. So
yeah,
Yeah.
It'll be really cool. I mean, I work with Gather Up Events for their Ocala conference here in Florida, and their Gatlinburg conference in Tennessee, which the Gatlinburg conference is coming up at the end of this month. And there's still tickets. There's plenty of places to stay. It is a phenomenal event. So if you're close to Gatlinburg or want to, come join us, you can see me. I'll be there working.
That's worth the price of admission right there.
Yeah, right? And the Moist Man's going to be there.
The Moist Man.
Yes, Greg Ogles, Relic Films.
That's right.
He is going to be there. Adam Davis is going to be there. He's going to be doing a roundtable. RPG is going to be there.
Do you happen to know the website for this?
Yes, it is if you Google Gather Up Events, it'll list all of their events. Go to the Gatlinburg event, and then you can look up the price of tickets. They start at $25, $25 or $30. Okay. And that's admission all day.
So when you go to gatherupevents.com, that's the first thing that pops up on here. So
yeah. And so there's lots of vendors. There's speaker events. There's a speakers hall. It's really a lot of fun, and then you can get to talk to these folks firsthand.
Oh,
hi, Amy.
Did you see this? Hellbent Holler announced The Rock will be making an appearance.
Ooh.
I'm assuming the actor The Rock and not like an actual rock.
It's Pet Rock.
Hey everybody, this is my pet rock. You would like to see things.
That's really cool.
Yeah, that would be cool. I mean, that would just drive tickets right there.
Yeah,
Jeez.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So no, it's an actual rock they found. But it looks very cool. Well, hey, that could drive sales too.
That
would be fun.
Oh, that's funny.
Maybe it's a rock that Bigfoot's threw, and it is radioactive somehow.
Yeah, or it's a fossilized print of like a handprint or a footprint of Bigfoot.
Okay, so I'm going to pose a question. Which would you rather see, Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, or a fossilized, or a fossilized Bigfoot?
Yeah. I'm going to say fossilized Bigfoot because I'm biased.
Yeah, I think I would too.
Yeah.
But I mean, he would be kind of cool to see too. I've heard he's a pretty cool dude.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Nothing
so
against
that's
The
going to
Rock.
be July 26th in Gatlinburg. That's going to be a fun one.
Mhm.
I believe Paranormal 411, who we just had on this past weekend, is going to be there as well. I know they were talking about
Yeah.
it. This is an indoor one, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all indoor.
Okay.
There's nothing outdoor. And so it's air conditioned, and then there's out in the hallway they have food and drinks for purchase.
Okay. All right. So, we left out another rock. Bigfoot's kidney stones.
There it is.
Okay, so which would be cooler, a print of a Bigfoot footprint or a kidney stone that went through a Bigfoot?
Yeah,
See
because
what I
I'm
did there?
sure.
Both are rare.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway.
Anywho.
Hi, Two Shadows. Hi, OPR. And anybody that has come in that I might have missed. Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Knack is here.
Oh,
Okay, so
go ahead.
You talked about your the conference not 2 weekends ago. 2 weeks.
Yeah,
ago.
tons of fun.
Tons of fun. What was the highlight of it? What was your favorite part of it?
Oh my gosh. I think my favorite part was the people that attended, because I was working a booth and I was there covering for RPG. So he was on Finding Bigfoot, and he was also on Expedition Bigfoot. And he was also the one kind of announcing. He was the announcer as well. And I got to sit right beside Dr. Maria Mayer, got to talk to her, got to talk to Dr. Meldrum. And it was such a cool vibe. But all the people coming in had their own stories. And then they were, talking to me and everybody else about, the history of West Virginia and what they've experienced there. But when I went over to see Swamp Man and Turtle Man and the other guys in the other building,
Mountain Monsters.
Yeah, the people there were starstruck. Like, there were children just like in awe. There were
of seeing you or of seeing
no, not me, not me. It was more Swamp Man, Turtle Man, and Mountain Monsters, and they were just over the moon because they really kind of live it up. They're like, let's grab our knives and go and take pictures, and they're over the top, and it really makes everybody happy. And that's what I love seeing it, because West Virginia, there's not a lot to do in West Virginia because I grew up there.
Yeah.
And so have an event like this, it's fantastic.
That's cool. And just to be able to, like you said, just to be able to get to shake somebody's hand that one of the speakers or somebody that you see on YouTube all the time or see on TV all the time, and actually get to have somewhat of a conversation with them. I mean, that's just pretty darn cool too. I was that same way growing up with sports figures and stuff. So it's kind of the same thing, but maybe that is, I don't know, but it's pretty cool. That's cool that you had so much fun, and you're gonna go right back to it on
the end of this month. And then so July 26th, the Gatlinburg conference. 2 weeks after that is the Central Pennsylvania conference that I'll be working as well. And so Amy Bew is going to be there. RPG is going to be there. We have Daniel Barnett, who is a young gentleman from the UK, who is going to be there. He is leading the UK Bigfoot investigations. And Daniel is also has autism.
Really?
He is a phenomenal young man. He just turned 17, I believe, 16 or 17. And so he's going to be there.
He's 17 years old and he's leading Bigfoot expeditions.
Yep.
Wow.
He was nonverbal for like the first 6 years of his life.
Yeah.
And then he, they were working with him, and then he got so excited about Bigfoot, and his family is so supportive. And so they're like, okay, let's go. Let's go find Bigfoot. And they're in the UK in the, the more wilderness area of it.
Yeah.
And he goes out and educates other children, and found himself, just comes out of his shell. And I met him a year ago at the Ocala conference in 24. And he got up in front of, there had to be 1,000 people there, and spoke so eloquently and presented everything so well. I was blown away, because he was 15 at the time, 15 or 16 at the time. And he was really, just, there are no words to describe what an extraordinary young man he is.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Tom says he found a hair sample out there. Well, I guess somewhere.
In the UK? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like little things like that really brought him out of his shell, and got him to, now he's able to have conversations and have a booth and talk to people. And he started his own Bigfoot conference festival in the UK. Started last year.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And outside of just our little cryptid world and paranormal world and stuff, that is a really cool, his story is a really cool story, that overcoming his condition and doing all this stuff. And I think that's pretty darn amazing.
Yeah.
Whether it's cryptid or whatever he likes to do.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. And he just found a passion, and boom.
Yeah.
Just went with it.
So same thing with Mickey G's son, Brandon. He was the same way with ghost hunting. We bonded over that. And I tell you, he was fantastic the time we met him in Richmond, Missouri, at Ray County that one time. He was fantastic. He opened up to me and Greg Ogles, just like we were old friends. So, he's an awesome dude. And again, I can't wait to see him and see everybody else at the Crossing Realms conference. That's
going to be fun.
That's just going to be so much fun. Like you said, seeing people, meeting people. Actually, a lot of these people we see all the time. I've talked to several of them, and it's just going to be good to be in the same room as these people.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, because I talk to folks on here over chat, but it's even better to see everybody in person.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be awesome.
And make sure that and you know what, I think Brian Bowden's going to be at the Gatlinburg conference.
Okay.
He was on here a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Make sure you say hi to him.
I will.
He's a fantastic dude. You'll enjoy talking to him.
Yeah. I get to talk to a lot of people at these conferences. It's phenomenal.
Yeah. So that's cool. That's cool. So I kind of had a first happened to me when we were in Emmaus. A couple weeks ago. I think that might have been the week that you were at your conference.
Yeah.
So we were out at Emmaus. I did my show with Brian actually, and then straight from when the show ended, I went out there. It's only about an hour away, so we're out there and we're all sitting outside. It was hot that day, but it was it was nice in the evening. So we're sitting outside waiting for the people that bought tickets to investigate that place. We're waiting for them to come outside or whatever. So a bunch of us from Haunted Souls were outside talking, and of course we were looking up in the sky. Terry Mosby was there, and she's our UFO expert person. So we're looking up in the sky, and she sees one that a white light that's flying across the sky, and it just disappears. So we saw that. Hey, BJ. We saw that. Don't know what it was. And then a little later on, we saw just a really bright light. It was pretty far off, and it was just kind of standing there floating there, whatever. And then all of a sudden it got real small, turned red, and just vanished.
Oh, wow.
No sound or anything. So could that have been a UFO? Could have been. We don't know. And then today, I was outside and I just happened to look up and I locked eyes on this white object in the sky. Brian, if I see Brian Bowden's in here, hey buddy. MK, no, you didn't get blocked. No, nobody blocked you. Brian's in here. I thought I saw Brian. Yep. Really, that was weird because we were talking about you, but that was weird. So Brian, I saw this white. It looked like, remember those Tic Tac videos from out in the West and East Coast? It looked like that way up in the sky. And normally if you see a plane that high up, it's, reflecting the sun. It's not real white. It's kind of grayish, silverish.
Yeah.
Whatever. It was white. I mean, it was pure white.
Wow.
And it did not make a sound. It was way up in the sky. And my son was just coming out and I kept saying, man, come here. He didn't see it, but because it had already just kind of gone across the sky and then just vanished again. So I have no idea what those things were. I mean, could very well be. I mean, there left no trails. The one today didn't leave no contrails or anything in the sky behind it. So maybe that was my second UFO that I saw.
Wow.
In 2 weeks. Who knows? But I was excited.
That's exciting. That's kind of, maybe a little hot spot there.
Yeah.
Well,
today was above our house.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. BJ, was it like the white one I showed you last year, the daytime one? I believe so. I can't remember. I'm gonna have to send it to me again, BJ. You know my memory. I don't remember things. It could have been. It could have been just like that. And Robert, we're going to get to that in just a moment. Pretty much just to say, I don't know. Let's do this right now. What do you guys think about the Joplin lights? Have you ever heard of them?
No.
I'm assuming that is going to be similar to the Phoenix lights.
Joplin
am I right, Robert? And yes, it was right above the house, like 30,000 or more feet above the house. Whoops. So if it was like the Phoenix lights, I hadn't heard that. So yes, it was. That would be pretty interesting. Joplin, of course, is a town down in southern Missouri that was just pulverized by a tornado several years ago. But I assume they've built back up and everything. But no, I have not heard of that, Robert. So maybe we should have him on and talk about the Joplin lights. I'll have to look that up. So, speaking of all this, and we kind of wanted to touch on this, you said sometime during the show. What do you think about all these things being connected?
Yeah. And I think I never thought they were connected until this past year. Because I had some personal experiences, and this is mostly in the wilderness. The level of paranormal activity that I witnessed in the Smoky Mountains, I mean, it's unimaginable. I was in complete disbelief. And there are people talking about these Tennessee wildmen, Bigfoot, dogmen in that area. And there are witnesses who have seen them. And it's all kind of overlapping. And you hear about these orbs and UFOs, then all of a sudden you see a Bigfoot. So there have been a lot of reports that have said, I saw a Bigfoot, or I saw a UFO first, and then an orb, and then a Bigfoot appeared. Mm-hmm. There's got to be more to this. And up until about, I would say 6 months ago, I was all for Bigfoot being, you know, a life form, a biological life form. Now, the more that I investigate, the more that I'm in the field, the more I think that there is a level there that we just don't understand, whether it be, you know, spiritual being or of the paranormal kind. I'm not sure. I would love to hear other people's views on this. Mm-hmm. What is your view, Paul?
Well, you know, if what I saw earlier was a UFO, so that would make Bigfoot or any kind of cryptid the only thing that I haven't seen or heard. I mean, I've heard it on recordings and everything. So, but you know, really, my extent is what I've learned through, you know, watching other people's shows, watching different videos, and having them on here and talking with them. I'm kind of leaning towards spiritual. Mm-hmm. 'Cause, you know, like you said, a lot of times the stories have orbs either right before or right after either a Bigfoot sighting or a UFO sighting. Mm-hmm. So, you know, and again, that this is one thing that we're all trying to figure out. One of the questions that we're all trying to figure out, that, you know, no one's an expert on this kind of thing. So, you know, people have different opinions, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But it sure seems to me that they are spiritual, that they, you know, that they can cover so much ground so quickly, mm-hmm. You know, disappear without a trace, appear without a trace from anything. So, yeah, that's very interesting to me.
Yeah, I think it, you know, there is a lot of overlap that you hear in a lot of stories, a lot of encounters where there is the paranormal and the cryptids. They go hand in hand. Mm-hmm. Now, not all the time, but there are a lot of stories. And so somehow there's got to be some sort of connection.
Mm-hmm. Now, when you are, and again, I haven't been out in the woods to do any investigating or anything, but you have. Mm-hmm. When you're near something that, you know, could be Bigfoot or whatever, do you sense anything different? Do you feel like something's watching mm-hmm. you? I know the odors there probably.
I have not gotten an odor, even though some people have had that experience. But I have gotten this feeling of overwhelming dread, and my stomach turns, and I just get all knotted up, and like every hair on my body stands up. Mm-hmm. It's almost like there is a predator there watching me. And you go into this mode where like you're on high alert. Mm-hmm. And you know something is not right, something is wrong. And then, you know, you try to, you don't ever run. You don't ever act, you know, like you're aggressive because you're going into their territory.
Right.
So I just, you know, either keep walking, keep moving, or stand very still with my therms to see what I can get. But it's this overwhelming sense of dread. But that the one time I was in Ocala and we were hearing them across the river in that area that the government owns, I didn't have any bad feelings just because I wasn't a threat. They weren't a threat. They were just warning each other that I was there. And that was about 1:30 in the morning.
So let me ask you this one then.
Mm-hmm.
Just like people, good and bad people.
Yeah.
Do you think there's good and bad Bigfoot?
Absolutely. 100%. And I think it really has to deal with where they're at. if they deal with a lot of hunters, of course, in my opinion, they're going to be more aggressive. If they deal with more campers, then they're going to be like, okay, these people aren't a threat to me. I know that, I have heard reports coming out of LBL that there are some aggressive ones in the interior parts of LBL. Whereas if you go to South Florida or even Central Florida, they're not aggressive at all. They're very they just want to be left alone, and they're not going to bother you. You don't bother them.
So you mentioned that, them kind of seeing the camper. Do you think that, if they happen to wander, and they know where everything is in the woods and stuff, if they come across a camper, I'm sure they'll smell that from very, very far away. Do you think that the camper with food would be more in danger than, say, you just walking through the woods? If they happen to get a whiff of the food?
I don't know. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know. I mean, I know if it was a bear, yeah. If you have food, that bear is going to smell it. Like any other animal, they're going to smell it. If they're hungry, they're going to go for that food. I have heard a lot of stories where campers are sitting around at night. They have a camper, they have a tent, and people have seen Bigfoot peeking over the tent or peeking over the camper and watching them. I think they're very curious creatures.
Well, Krista and Brandy had that one experience. I can't remember where they were camping, but they had a line of tents and campers and stuff by the edge of the wood line. And Krista saw something through the tent, and it was something big out there. They don't know what it was. Brandy actually got to see it. I mean, it was scary. I mean, it knew that they were there and everything. So Brian, who also lives in Florida, the Florida Bigfoot are not too aggressive, but the skunk ape is extremely aggressive. So.
I have not encountered a skunk ape. I have only heard about reports of people experiencing them. I have not heard of anybody being attacked, but knowing that they're in the Everglades and they're having to fight for their food against crocodiles and alligators and pythons and wild boar and panthers, I'm sure that they've got to fight for themselves, and they're not afraid of a fight. That's for sure.
We have such a great audience. We have Italy here. We have Jojo, who is in Australia. The Yowies there are all very aggressive, apparently. So, I mean, that would be an interesting place to check things out.
Yeah, I would love to go to Australia and do an investigation there.
I would just love to hear them talk. So Jojo, anytime you want to come on the show, just let me know. I'll ask one question and you just talk. It's fine.
Yeah, just talk. Talk about anything.
But no, I mean, that would be, interesting to see, the Yowies over there, how they are different than the Bigfoot over here.
Yeah.
And even in the UK. I would love to talk to that guy now too.
Yeah, Daniel and his dad, Craig, they travel. In fact, they'll be traveling to Central Pennsylvania. So if anybody is in the area, please attend the Central Pennsylvania Bigfoot Festival. That's happening August 9th.
August 9th. Okay.
He will be there.
Awesome. I'm going to write that down. Well, so BJ, if you're in chat, you're in Pennsylvania. Natalie, you might meet BJ too.
I just got a question based on the lives. Whoops.
Wait, where?
Went up. There it is.
Who was it? Do you remember?
Yep.
What?
It was about the skunk ape.
Who is it?
Oh, I'm trying to move. Okay. Sir Brian Bowden. Yes, sir. The skunk ape is more baboon based and lived secluded, so any outsider is going to be met with aggression. I have heard that. Yes, I have absolutely heard that they are more of a baboon. They're a smaller version of a Bigfoot, kind of. The eyewitnesses that I have talked to have seen them in the swamp, and I have never encountered one. I have camped there in that area in the old the Big Cypress National Forest, and I got to see a panther. Got to see a lot of wildlife, but never got an encounter yet. But I'm going back in October.
And you don't go out with any weapons. You just go out with bear spray, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That scares me.
I have heard enough stories about people going out with weapons that have a lot of aggressive behavior brought towards them by any cryptid. And so I go out there with bear spray because I'm more worried about bears attacking than I am a Bigfoot or a skunk ape, but I'm sure it'll stop it long enough for me to get away.
You know, I would think that I've heard stories, you know, there's good and bad in bears too, I'm sure. But, you know, I've heard stories with, you know, Bigfoot actually trying to protect, looking out for some people.
Mm-hmm.
I would be more scared of the bears. I think the Bigfoot just kind of hide back in the woods and observe us. They don't necessarily.
Yeah, they are, because there are so many predators in southern Florida. I can understand why they could be aggressive.
Yeah,
because there's so much down there.
Yeah. Gary made where is he? Make sure you tune into Bigfoot Michigan Rob here in 45 minutes. Our own BJ LaPier is going to be on there. She just shared a tip of the iceberg on here a few months ago. So make sure you tune into BMR a little bit later on for that too. See, I got sidetracked and I lost where I was going.
Okay. It's all good.
We're talking about bears.
Yeah, talk about the predators. And then, you know, really my interest, and I know we've talked about this before, is how the cryptids overlap with the paranormal and why.
Yeah.
And that is something that's a passion of mine that I am really looking into now, because it's so interesting to go out and have very bizarre things happen, like disembodied voices and strange metal knocking and flashes in the middle of the night and orbs. It's just a bizarre experience. And those are right around the same areas where you're having Bigfoot sightings and Dogman sightings. So what does that mean? I don't know. I'm going to keep investigating. I'm going to keep going out and looking and watching. And so we're going to be doing a lot more investigating at the end of this year and filming as well. And then we'll be, from my understanding, we'll be on the West Coast next year doing some investigating as well in Oregon.
So can you say where you're going next with Greg?
Yeah, I mean, it's not a secret. We're going to go to LBL. Yeah, so we're going to, and just to see, you know, what's out there. And because they did LBL, their last film, and that was just released, and we'll be going back to do further investigations.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, what is your role going to be on that? Are you going to be the bait?
Well, you know, it's funny. I did this last film that we did, The Vanished, which is going to be released in January. I said, why don't you put me out there? You know, because a female, an unarmed female is not going to be seen as somebody who's going to be aggressive or a threat. And I was told absolutely not. So I think it's a safety thing, but we're going to be doing a lot of really cool experiments this next time, which I'm not going to say what they are, but it's going to be so incredibly cool. And I came up with an idea that I was so thrilled that Greg and the crew, the Relic crew, agreed with, because I thought they were going to shut it down, and they didn't. They said, just go ahead and do it. So I'm super excited. So you'll get to see that in the film. I can't say what it is. That I can't say.
All right. I won't try to get it.
Okay.
Interesting. Cool.
Yeah.
So, and that's going to be in November?
So we're filming in November. It probably won't be released until the following year. It takes about a year for all the editing and putting everything together and all the added stuff.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's not going to be just 2 hours of footage taken. So you're going to have to comb through all that stuff. And yeah. So
there's a lot of footage.
Yeah. See, I would love, I'm kind of in both camps. I would love to see go on an investigation with when he's filming like that. But then again, I'd also love to sit back and edit that.
Mm-hmm.
So I love doing both parts. So that would be pretty cool. I'd love to see his.
Yeah.
We'll have to talk to him. He'll be on here. What did I say, on the 22nd?
22nd.
22nd, he'll be on here. So
Mr.
Moist,
Boss Man.
Mr. Moist and Sprinkles will be on the show on the 22nd of July. So we kind of touched on Bigfoot. Well, we did touch on Bigfoot and stuff. What about ghost stuff? What have you seen and done? I know you had the Shadow Man that you had a come to Jesus moment with him.
Yeah.
What other freaky things?
Well, we've had a lot of.
Thank you, Sir Brian Bowden.
Thank you, Brian.
Appreciate you, brother.
Thank you, sir. We had a lot of experiences in the Smoky Mountains. Mm-hmm. A lot. And every day, we go out there thinking, well, what are we going to see? And we had all kinds of paranormal stuff happen. And a lot of it was just us going out on our own, or, somebody, Greg and Adam were filming. So we, I would walk off to the tree line, and all of a sudden you hear this disembodied young woman's voice, like sighing. Mm-hmm. And you're like, did I hear that right? And it happened again. And so we were hearing a lot of crazy things in that area, just because of all the violence and the violence around death that happened there from wars and from what I understood and what I heard from a lady that ran the motel there. The people that came to dig up the roads for the national park were finding unmarked graves where people had been murdered or buried alive. And these people were clawing. They found them like the claw marks, and then they died like this. And It was just a violent, horrific death. And once they uncovered all of that, of course, all that energy is released. Yeah. So there's a lot of paranormal activity in that area. Investigations in and around that area came back positive when we were doing recordings. Mm-hmm. It's really cool.
So that's another thing that I just thought of as you were talking. Do you think, whether it's Bigfoot, probably let's go back to Bigfoot for a second.
Yep.
Do you think that they can mimic our voices?
Yes.
In order to lure somebody into the woods?
I think that, because you've heard of reports of them talking, and you can't really understand it, but I'm absolutely sure that they can try to mimic those sounds. But I also think that when you hear, because coming from somebody who grew up in Appalachia, when you hear those voices in the woods and nobody's out there, I don't necessarily think it's a Bigfoot. There's a lot of cryptids. There's a lot of very strange occurrences that happen in these woods. And it very well could be paranormal. You hear of these skinwalkers. You hear of, Mothman, Dogman. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of things in these woods that you're not really sure what they are. So you just have to be very, very careful because they will try to lure you.
Mm-hmm. That's where I heard that. I was watching an episode of Small Town Monsters, and they were talking to a Native American about skinwalkers.
Yeah.
Which to me, that's very brave of that person to come forward. I mean, his identity was hidden and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, he even said that I guess the skinwalkers can and do a lot mimic our voices and sounds and stuff. So
Very much so.
yeah, so that's scary in itself.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, if you grow up in that area, it becomes a part of your life.
Right.
And you know what to do and what not to do.
Mm-hmm.
And so you just kind of get used to it, but you know not to go out there in the middle of the night alone. Don't do what I do because I'm looking for it.
With your red light and your bear spray.
My red light, my bear spray, and my therm.
Now, do you go out there with GPS too, so people know that where you're at?
Oh, I know. So I have Life 360 on my phone.
Mm-hmm.
So I share that with all my kids, my biological kids, my bonus kids, because I've got a lot of those. And so everybody knows where I'm at.
Mm-hmm.
So if I go missing, they know where they could track me.
Okay. So Dario was asking where the Smoky Mountains are. And Dario, remember, he's from Italy.
Yeah.
So the Smoky Mountains, so I'm in the Midwest, middle of the country, basically. That's going to be to my west, about 2 states over to the west. That's that big chain that runs pretty much from Arizona up through Wyoming. That's going to be the Smoky Mountains. The Appalachian Mountains are the Smoky Mountains.
Are on the Smoky Mountains and the Appalachian Mountains. The Smoky Mountains are within the Appalachian Mountains.
Okay, and that's going to be in Tennessee.
That's going to be
Kentucky,
from Georgia all the way up to Pennsylvania. Smoky Mountains are in like the Tennessee area.
Right.
So if you're looking at a map of the United States, on the right-hand side, the east side is where the Smoky Mountains and the Appalachian Mountains are. On the west side are the Rocky Mountains.
Right. So, yeah, they kind of surround the country a little bit. And then when they talk about the mountains up north in New York and stuff. So,
yeah. So it's beautiful, beautiful country.
Oh, definitely.
Absolutely stunningly beautiful. One of my favorite places to go. I don't care if there's paranormal. I don't care if there's cryptids. I love them. My goal in 5 years is to have land and a tiny home in the mountains, in the Smoky Mountains, in the middle of everything.
Yeah, that would be cool too. And I've vacationed there with my folks and my family. Now we've been to the Smokies. I've been to the Rockies several times, not even with a thought of Bigfoot in my head until now. So, I mean, it's just a beautiful area. Both places, I think, are just beautiful areas to spend time in. So,
yeah, brother Littlefoot says the craziest stuff goes on around Cherokee. You are absolutely right.
Brother Littlefoot. Welcome.
That is so accurate.
Wow.
And you're right. No guns. Because they know. They know.
Yeah. So I guess, would they be more aggressive if they know you don't have any weapons on you? Or?
No, in my opinion, they're going to feel safer and less threatened.
Okay.
Because if somebody walks into your yard with a gun, you're going to feel threatened.
Well, yeah.
If somebody just walks into your yard with, a regular shirt on and a pair of jeans, just strolling with, nothing going on, being nice and respectful, they're going to just leave you alone, or they may just be curious and take a look at you.
Yeah. Interesting. So they smell gunpowder. Best friends I ever had. Interesting. And welcome, Brother Littlefoot.
Yes, welcome.
Yeah. Nice to have you here.
Hope to see you at the Gatlinburg conference.
Do you know Brother Littlefoot?
No.
Oh.
No, but he says he has experience in Cherokee, so that's
Yeah,
very close.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's another thing down there. Cherokee is very popular down there.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful area.
Yeah. If Dario said that that's his dream to travel to United States. Yeah, come on over.
Yeah.
Come on over. And if you're free in September, come over to the Crossing Realms conference in near Kansas City. That'll be fun. He would definitely win the prize for the most
the furthest away.
Yeah, furthest.
Yeah. Well, y'all are having somebody come from Alaska.
Yeah. That'll be cool. I haven't even checked. Every show I do, I have my K2 on. It hasn't been moving at all.
Oh.
Today. So. Yeah. So the Saturday show, BJ was in chat, and she noticed that there was some spirit behind me, and it wasn't a friendly spirit or anything.
Mm-hmm.
So and even then Saturday, it wasn't going off. It was going to the second light, and it's not doing it now. So,
yeah. See, I remember, watching you Saturday, and I said I thought I saw a shadow behind you move.
Mm-hmm. It would have been right over here because I thought I saw it too.
Yeah,
right back there. So yeah, interesting. Interesting. Probably more on that on BMR show tonight with BJ. So make sure you tune into that. Let's see. Where else do you want to go? We haven't talked about UFOs much.
No, we haven't.
No.
I did see a UFO when I was a kid.
Really?
Yeah. A friend of mine, we were outside sleeping on our back porch. It was at night, and look up, and we were like, "That's an odd, plane," because that normally doesn't happen. Mm-hmm. And we were just watching it, and it was moving pretty slow, and all of a sudden, it was like a little white light, and it went, pew, just shot right off.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that obviously a plane doesn't do that.
No, it doesn't. And we looked at each other and we said, "Oh, let's not tell anybody what we saw."
So before all this, before that sighting and before all this paranormal stuff happened to you, did you believe in this all your life, or?
No, I believed in ghosts because I've been seeing them my whole life. Because that was just, I've been seeing them since I was about 3 years old.
Yeah.
Not a lot, but it's mostly family members, coming to say hello, just quick little things. Nothing like I'm not a medium by no means. I always thought Bigfoot was a joke just to scare people until I moved to Florida. And then all of the reports that occur here in Florida, I started looking into more seriously and to realize that this is a real thing. And then to actually go in the woods and hear them, you're like, this is real.
Yeah. I think the first time that I would go in the woods and hear that, I would probably be freaked out. But just like ghost hunting, after a couple times, like, oh yeah, it's Bigfoot call.
Yeah. So it's interesting. It really is. And I know that just like the government covered up UFOs for a very, very long time and then finally released reports, I truly believe that they are going to do the exact same thing with Bigfoot. They'll have reports released where they've been studying Bigfoot for decades, and here's everything that they know.
Whether they have a Bigfoot or a dogman, or what if they're engineering them as super soldiers, who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows if it'll ever come out? And if we believe it, who knows? Dario, what do you think about Area 51 topics? There are some UFO sightings. Sorry for my English. Perfect English
That's
to me.
perfect English. Thank you.
What do you think about Area 51? You think
I
that the
don't know
government
enough
has...
about it.
Okay.
I don't know enough. I would love to go out there and hang out for a little bit, but I think, was it you saying that if you get too close that they'll set off the alarms?
If you get too close, I mean, there's fences and barbed wire and guards that if you get too close, guards will see you and give you warning shots and stuff to stay away. But there's no way that you could get in there and actually make it to any of the buildings and stuff. They would definitely get you before that.
Yeah.
But I watch a lot of that stuff, and I really do think that they have something down there. I mean, whether it's there or whether it's at a different base somewhere, I think that somebody, scientist or something, is definitely reverse engineering things. Just for the mere fact that all of a sudden the technology just boomed, and we have all these spy planes that you can't detect on radar, and all these different technological equipment. I mean, microwave ovens. All of a sudden, I mean, where did all this technology come from? I know these are really smart people doing this, and I'm not saying that they're not smart, but they had to get this from someplace, I think.
Yeah, and I think the technological advances that we have had over the last 100 years has been far more than we've had in the last 1,000 before that. Not saying that there has not been any advances, but there's been a lot. I mean, now look at us. We're having a conversation and with folks from all over the world, and we're on a little screen. Plugged in.
So there's something going on, and yes, I would love to get out there as close to it as I can. But they don't mess around there, and I'm not gonna try it. So I would love to do a show from just outside of Area 51, a safe enough distance where you can see the fence and the guards station and stuff, but far enough away that they know I'm no harm, and I'm not gonna
or do a show from Roswell.
That would be cool. Would be cool. So there's actually a place here in Missouri called it's Piedmont, Missouri. The name of the lake, it's either Clearwater Lake or I can't think of the other name of it. That's supposed to be the UFO capital of Missouri, and it's not too terribly far from here, from where I live. So I was actually thinking of, and a lot closer than Roswell, I was actually thinking of going down there, and there's UFO stores and all kinds of UFO things down there. I was actually thinking about doing a show from down there sometime too. So
that would be really cool.
That would be fun. That would be fun. See if I can get people, and whatever lake it is, I can't remember what TV show that I saw. And I'll ask you this one here in just a second too. There's reports of UFOs coming out of the water. That there's possibly bases under there. So getting to that, what do you think of potential, like the Tic Tac videos that we saw out off the coast of California and Mexico down there? What do you think of things having a base in our oceans?
I absolutely
even in our lakes, big lakes around.
Absolutely believe it. Because I mean, our oceans are so vast and so deep, and really that is the perfect hiding place, because we can't see it. We can't go all the way down there. And if they have the technology and the advancement to do so, then that would be the greatest place. I have heard of even reports here in Florida where there are giant sinkholes where there are witnesses seeing orbs and lights come out of these sinkholes, and they'll shoot up straight into the sky. So there's a lot of possibilities there. Oh, there it is.
Didn't touch it. It just went off.
Evidently, they like that topic.
Yeah, that was weird. It's only gone off one other time, and that was when Brent Thomas from Paranormal Portal was on here.
Huh.
Messed that up. Is that right? Yeah, that's right. So yeah, that was I think that too. I mean, that's one place that, you know, and some of these really dense forests that we haven't really explored much.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, the deep ocean, we can't get down there.
No.
What a perfect place to hide.
Absolutely. You know? And I mean, a lot of things, you know, on land people can explore, but the oceans, you would have to have all the right equipment, and we don't have that.
Mm-hmm. No. And you saw that that submarine that went down.
Oh yeah.
Tried to go under there and, you know,
imploded.
Nobody's going to want to do that again.
No.
Was that further than our regular military submarines go?
I don't believe so, but I'm not sure.
Okay, I can't remember. If anybody knows in chat, I don't know.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm not really sure. I know it was deep, but that's that would be a horrible way to die.
Yeah, not good. OPR said you can film at designated places on the road to Area 51. Just obey their signs and they won't bother you.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
Portable podcast station. Get like a van or something, and
So that's on my bucket list now.
Yeah.
Broadcasting live from Area 51.
That would be so cool.
It's almost directly in the center of Australia and near that city where UFO sightings coming in and out of it have been happening for decades. Interesting. Yeah. And same thing with mountains and stuff. I mean, who knows? They could have bases in there. And I know a guy up in Alaska, not the one that's coming to the conference, that he's seen things coming out of an active volcano.
Yeah.
So could there be stuff hidden in there as well? I mean, we don't know. And I don't know how we would ever find that out.
Yeah, these are all very difficult things that we would not be able to really explore as civilians.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure the government has all kinds of technology that they can use and work through.
Yeah. And hell, maybe it's their stuff that's coming in and out of these.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? Do you watch The Secret of Skinwalker Ranch at all?
No.
Oh, that is such a fun show.
I have not watched it.
So part of the thing, it's a ranch in Utah that has a lot of activity on it, and the previous owner, his name escapes me, who owned it, had the government helping him do experiments there, trying to figure out what's going on. Now the new owner has his own scientists there working to try and figure things out, and with certain tests that they've done, they've discovered a possible, they call it like a bubble over part of the ranch and stuff, that strange things happen, and they've used drones going through the bubble and out of it, and they lose GPS and stuff while they're going in it, and then when they come out, it's perfectly fine.
Wow.
So that's another thing. If things like this are happening in one particular place in the world, what's to say that it's not all over the place?
Correct. I'm sure there's more than just the one place.
Yeah.
It very well could be that there are other places that don't have people around.
And we've heard stories of different places popping up around the country that, Missouri's Marley Woods is our version of Skinwalker Ranch here. And there's other places around that have had weird things like what's happening at that Skinwalker Ranch happened on their property with cattle mutilations and stuff. And that just, fascinates me that things can take huge animals like cattle or horses or something like that, dismember it, put it back in this where they found it with no trace of blood or anything.
Nothing.
Yeah.
And what I find very unsettling is that even afterwards, these mutilations, like other animals won't touch that meat. There's no bugs on it. There's nothing. Like, it's just so weird.
Mm-hmm.
So weird.
Yeah. And actually, Tom, if you're still watching, there is, so let's see, Eye of Jupiter, Fisher Spams The Night Watch, and Daniel Calhoun's Magical Journey. They do like a forum every month or so, and we're going to do one. I'm going to actually be on a panel with them and later on this month, and we're going to talk about cattle mutilations. And for some reason that topic just fascinates me. I don't know why, it just fascinates me so much, but we're going to do a topic on that, show on that, so that's going to be fun. Man, I wish I knew. I think it's next Friday. I should probably make sure that I'm available then. I'll look at it later. So yeah, that's going to be fun. There's just a lot of really cool topics that we can just talk all night about this stuff.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
Yeah.
And I mean, a lot of it, again, they overlap because when you get stuff like this, the cattle mutilations, there could be Bigfoot reports or dogman reports or orbs or UFOs. It's just it overlaps a lot.
Yeah.
Now, not necessarily saying that, the paranormal, that you go and investigate an asylum, I think is separate. That's paranormal.
Yeah. Yes, I do, little Patty. I need a secretary. I've been told that many times. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. And the sad thing is, I keep everything on my phone. If anybody wants a job as secretary, it doesn't pay good. But, somebody wants to do that, that'd be great. I'd appreciate it.
You'll cook for them. How's that? You'll barbecue for them.
I could. I mean, by the time I send it out, it's probably not good.
Yeah.
Depending on where they live.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah. OPR. Most cattle mutilations are arid locations with temperature swings between day and night. So I just think it's mostly sublimation, which causes the clean wounds. That's very interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, that could be. That could be. But
what I love about this community is that we can have different opinions and we all respect everybody's opinion because there are no facts yet.
Right.
Right. It's like that. And, like that view, that's fantastic. That's something that you don't think about.
Right. And like I said, and I've said this before too. Yeah, we have different opinions. We might disagree with something that somebody says, but we're grown-ups.
Yeah.
We're not gonna make fun of whoever.
Yeah.
No, I mean, that's I've had a guest or two that always are worried about what they might say, and if chat would be upset or make fun of them or something like that. I'm like, no, not at all. I mean, this is basically the same chat that is in a bunch of other shows.
Yeah.
We don't do that. Not at all. This is a safe place. If somebody mouths off and we don't like it, then they're gone.
Yeah.
So that's why
all about respect.
Yeah. That's why we have good mods, and that's why I try and watch it too. And, safe place. Let's see. OPR, I have to say, though, I haven't seen one. The odd part is that the animal is always taken by men in black and you never see it again. That is true.
Yeah.
That is true. That is true. So you have, like you said, you have the conference at the end of this month. You're going in August, right? Up to
Yeah.
Pennsylvania.
Yeah. So July 26th is the Gatlinburg Bigfoot Conference. August 9th is the Central Pennsylvania Bigfoot Festival.
Mm-hmm.
And then your conference is in September
19th and 20th.
19th.
But be there on Thursday.
Yeah, well, I'll be out there on Thursday too.
Yeah.
And then the Alligator Wrestling Festival is in South Florida, which I'll be camping there all weekend. That is at the Skunk Ape headquarters. And so that is the first weekend of October. There is a paranormal conference that I have a little bit more information on that I'll be speaking at in the second weekend or third weekend of October. And so, yeah, we've got a lot of things happening.
Okay, a couple questions. Where is the Central Pennsylvania Conference at?
That is a great question. Let me look that up for you.
And while she's looking that up, just remember this weekend, if you are in the Midwest area and can get to southern Missouri, southwestern Missouri, and are interested in an air-conditioned ghost hunt, Haunted Souls will be at Pythian Castle, which is in Springfield, Missouri. $75 gets you ghost hunting from 7 p.m. to 3 a.m. Drinks and snacks are included, and you can use some of their equipment. I mean, it's just a great value for it. Go to Haunted Souls with a Z.com for more information on that. Last I heard, there was about 9 tickets left. Unfortunately, I have to work. So I was planning on doing my show Saturday with Jilly from there. They have Wi-Fi and everything. So I was planning on doing the show from there and then ghost hunting the rest of the night. But my job had other plans.
Mm-hmm. So I found the page. It's on Facebook. It's Central PA Bigfoot Encrypted Festival, August 9th at the Susquehanna Valley Mall in Selinsgrove, Pennsylvania.
Okay. MK Ultra, you might see him there. It's exactly geographically central Pennsylvania. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
They measured it out. It's in central Pennsylvania.
Yeah, so I'll be there.
Dab in the middle.
Please come and say hi to me.
Yes.
I'll be at the event.
Somebody was at, so maybe MK, are you gonna go to that? I know you're gonna see Brian Bowden in Gatlinburg. I didn't say Gettysburg this time.
It's not Gettysburg. But that would be another cool place to go and do an investigation or do a live podcast. Oh,
I would, I've seen so many videos of people hearing cannon fire and gunfire from Gettysburg. That would just be so cool.
Yeah.
To go there. That's another one on my bucket list. So on my bucket list, we have Gettysburg, LBL, and Area 51.
Yep.
On the edge of the bucket would be Roswell. If I don't get to Roswell, I'm fine with that. But,
yeah,
and then Piedmont, which would be closer to me. So that's Pancho, you figured me out, dude. Figured out why you're so interested in animal mutilations. I work at a butcher shop. Yep. I mean, they already have the blood drained, and they've already killed the cattle. So I mean, all you got to do is chop it up.
Funny story on that. Kind of related.
Okay.
So I don't know how many of y'all know who Turtle Man is. Uh-huh. He was on the Animal Planet years and years ago. And so to this day, he still lives very backwoods, and there will be times where he sees roadkill and he'll just pick it up because it's good meat, fresh kill. Squirrel, rabbit. It is what it is.
And I met him in Townsend, was the first I've seen him. And I mean, he's always on. When he's out in public, I guess he's always on.
100%. That is exactly who he is. And I don't want to brag or anything, but while we were at the West Virginia conference, there was a large group of us that were staying in the exact same hotel. I was on the same floor as Turtle Man and Swamp Man. We ended up all hanging out together in the hotel room.
Really?
There was a large group of us, and we were hanging out talking until like midnight. It was so cool because he's the real deal.
Mm-hmm.
And
so did you hear his howl like in the middle of the night if he would yell from his room or anything? Or
no, he was a little tired. He was going all day.
Roadkill is aged meat. Depends on how.
Yeah. Funny story. At one time, and I don't know if it's still there, but West Virginia had to implement a law, and that was many, many years ago, and I don't know if it's still real, but they had to implement a law where you could only pick up roadkill within the 24 hours after of the kill.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
And little Patty, can't tell you how many times we had roadkill for supper growing up.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean that's pre-tenderized.
Yeah,
I guess.
pretty much.
Yeah, that's no thanks. I've often thought of, during deer season and everything, you see deer on the side of the road that have been hit by cars or whatever. I wonder if anybody's, you still have to have a tag from the Missouri Conservation to bring it in. So that's just interesting. I don't know.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah. Well, this has been a fun show. It went by very fast. Very fast.
Yeah, I mean, we've been talking about doing something like this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And when we had to cancel today, I figured, you know what, let's just stick with our gut and go with it. And we did. And I hope everybody enjoyed it.
Yeah.
In just 7 short minutes, head on over to BMR to hear more from BJ and BMR. I'm not sure if Krista's going to be there or not. I'm sure she will. So tune in to BMR, some more fascinating stories from BJ. So very interesting stuff. Mm-hmm. So yeah, this was fun. Yeah.
Oh, one quick thing, Amy, you're absolutely right. I have met a lot of people that would catch turtles or tortoises crossing the road and have them for dinner.
Oh. Well, I mean, they can't really run that fast.
No, they can't. No. Yes, I am going to try my very best to go to the ghost hunting during the conference if there is availability.
Yep. I know all the tickets are sold out. So I don't know. And I'm pretty much going to be working all day Saturday at the conference. So I don't know how long I'm going to last at the ghost hunt. But I would like to, I know there's a lot of celebrities that are going there, and I really want to go in there and kind of, walk around with them and stuff. Mm-hmm. So, and we might even, coming back home, I think we were talking about getting you and Greg out to Emmaus. And kind of hunt around out there, in the woods out there and stuff. So, that would be fun too.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. Hey, Josh, my original member was here. He just came in at the very end. How you doing, Josh? Good to see you. Thanks for coming in. You beat the member for 9 months. Look at that.
Wow.
Yes, that is awesome. Glad you're here. All right. So remember, next Saturday we have Jilly Marie going to be doing some readings here for us. So make sure that you get here and get your readings from Jilly. She's always very good and very accurate. My thanks to it's going to be fun. She does a great job.
Yeah.
My thanks to Sir Brian Bowden for his donation. Certainly do appreciate it, buddy. And thank you, Josh, for being a member for 9 months now. The original member. So appreciate him and appreciate everybody for watching. Thank you guys for coming in again. Make sure you head on over to BMR in about 4 minutes. He'll be kicking it off over there. So anyway, any last comments, Natalie?
I just want to say thank you, everybody, for joining. Remember to subscribe, hit like, and have a wonderful rest of your evening.
And leave a comment afterwards too. So appreciate everybody. We will talk to you all. Let me get this all set up right. We'll talk to you guys next Tuesday.
All right.
I'll see you next
Saturday. Yeah.
See ya.
This is the future. Evolution. This is the future. Evolution.